Okay, we are on filmsgonewild.com. My name is John Wildman, the editor-in-chief of Films Gone Wild. And right now we are at the Naples International Film Festival in Naples, Florida. And we're going to talk about a very, very funny short film called Drop Off. We have Rick and Jen Serena with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. And also, so all of us who are keeping our scorecards correct, Rick is director, Jen producer. All right. We always start this off by having you introduce our audience to the film. They likely have not seen this as yet, so tell us about Drop Off.
Drop Off is a very short comedy about two parents who let their teens get the best of them.
Right. It is. What it means we've got a quick runtime. What is it, like 6-8 minutes? What it's like even.
It is 2 hours. It's 2 hours. It's very quick.
It went fast.
2 minutes and 40
2
seconds.
2 minutes. Okay. All right. You know, I knew it was super short, and it just goes to show that when a premise is totally on point, you don't need a whole lot of time. The humor, the lines are funny, and the characters are just spot on. And one thing you had going for you is that the film stars. And people that we've talked about and talked to a lot, the Purdy family, which is, I describe them as the filmmaking Von Trapps, where mom, dad, daughter, son handle all aspects of filmmaking. When they're doing their film, somebody's holding the camera while somebody's acting, and then they trade off, and they do it. Somebody else is holding the mic. One person, the son, composes the music. The daughter even bakes the food for sets. It is crazy, and they're all fantastic performers. So, Rick, let's start off talking about working with them.
They were top of mind when I was writing the script, and I'm so glad that they were game for doing this because they just bring so much to the table. Aside from the fact that they're just lovely human beings, and because they're filmmakers, they, in addition to being actors, they understand the process and appreciated the process and appreciated what we were trying to do in an efficient way. So I know I think we shot this over the course of 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon, and they were very excited that they could be in and out, and because they were working on their own feature at the same time. So they're wonderful. This script, I was very happy with how the script evolved, but it just continued to get funnier and funnier in the lead up to and on set.
The reality is it would not have been made, honestly, if they were not involved, because we knew we had a short window of when we could get it made, and they came so ready.
They have an instant shorthand.
Absolutely.
Right?
With each other, and to be trapped in this car together, yes, it was magic, and really the best and only way to make this film.
Let's talk about other efficiencies. One, you have a very short runtime. You also have one location, right? But even with that, and I wanted you to have a chance to talk about that even though you're going, oh, well, it's a walk in the park for like half a day. And you go, well, we're still shooting something. So talk about the challenges for this in particular.
Sure. Well, honestly, the best thing about this one was we went into it just having fun. Right? It started off as over drinks with another pair of parents and commiserating, and said, oh, this is kind of a funny idea. And then Rick, within a couple of months, wrote weeks. Okay, so we're even truncating the story even more, and we're like, we just need to keep making, right? We're just in this mode where we just want to keep creating. And this was like the first one. It's like, oh, this is fun. It's done. Let's get it out. And because we're in a wonderful community, everyone's like, yes, I can give you that amount of time. And because everyone is of that caliber of talent, it can get done well in that short amount of time. So you just add all those things together, and that's what makes it work, right? And because of the punchline of it all, you can't run this joke into the ground. So 3 minutes is a perfect amount of time to sell it and give everybody a chance to think about it, right?
Rick, let's talk about there are funny lines in this, and you got 4 actors who can just bring the funny. But on the technical side, 2 actors can say a funny line, but if one of them, if their face is angled wrong, our audience doesn't get it because they just don't pick up on it, right? I remember one time, I had and this is decades ago, I loved Monty Python. I had a girlfriend who would watch Monty Python just straight-faced with me. But if I did my version of the sketch, then she thought it was hilarious because the presentation was different, and then she picked up on the humor differently.
Yeah.
Well, in the same way, and especially you've got 4 people in a car, and if you're shooting through a window, well, again, you go, well, okay, Doug's line is funny, but I need him to scooch over a little bit on here, so I also have Brooks face behind him, reacting, right? So talk about that. Talk about technically how, it's on some of the shots, so you go, okay, I need to do a little tweaking here, because otherwise the joke doesn't land quite as well as it could.
Sure. So I come from an editorial background. I was an editor. I still am an editor, but an editor for many years before I was directing. And so that's something that's always in the back of my mind. And preparation is a huge part of my process as a director. It allows me to be able to be more playful on set with our actors. But having said that, I'm also a big believer in those happy accidents and not being quite so precious with making sure that things are exact. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for that, but for me, I love the fact that I love knowing, and I guess it's just a matter of having done it enough, knowing that there's going to be something in there that's just as good, if not better, than the idea that I may have specifically in my head. And I'm grateful that with this particular project, I was able to work with a phenomenal editor that I love, who does a lot of comedy, and so he took it and actually reordered some of from the script, and that automatically set the stage in not a whole different direction, but changed the tone of it from the get-go, and really helped to elevate the project.
And the composer too.
And yes, and that's another thing. It's an original music composition from a composer, Paul Bessenbacher, that we work with, who just really hits the nail on the head, and sets that even in the opening of the film, when it is suggested that it's possibly a bit more of a serious tone, there's a moment in there where the music starts to lead us into thinking that maybe we're okay.
Right.
And that was very important to us. So that's part of the technical process as well.
You actually brought something that on an earlier interview I was talking about editing and about having things rearranged, and especially as a writer, then you go, well, no, this made perfect sense, this is great. And then the editor goes, yeah, but if I put this before this scene or this moment before that, and you go, oh, that's much funnier. Or that's much clearer. Can you talk in detail about one moment that was done like that popped in a different way for you? Because I think it's one thing to talk about in a general sense, but it's another for you to go, well, Scout says this thing, and then originally we were going to go then the 2-shot of the parents, but instead we got this great look from Max that accented it, and then made it a whole higher level joke.
Sure. I think one specific moment for me is after Max has proudly professed to being an adult, and then immediately asking for their home address. That led to Doug's bursting out, "They were easier as babies." That was a line that was existed prior to the bit with Max and the home address. So the line punches the joke even funnier, because now we can understand the situation and identify with Doug, and I have to say, that particular shot with Doug out the window was probably the hardest for me, because I was laughing. I was playing the firefighter. We originally had someone to play the role, and the person had to back out at the last minute, so I had to step in. And so Doug was just giving me one option after another, and of course I'm laughing behind camera. So it was there plenty of options to use for Doug.
I mean, it's apparently barely 3 minutes long, and it's just one moment after another that's genius. The film is Drop Off. We've been talking with Rick and Jen Serena, screening at the Naples International Film Festival. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.